I'd like to start out telling you guys that I was not supposed to be here today. I was supposed to be in Kansas with Mr. James, a prayer partner of mine, and Jane and Jordan were coming with me to this place called International House of Prayer. And everything was set up and we were leaving. I took off work on Friday, and Thursday I found out that the job that I currently have at Option Shelter is federally funded. And so the government shutdown has affected my job and my paycheck. And because of that, I had to cancel a trip. And I was just thinking about when I was asked to speak, how before it was a no and now it's a yes, and how I was always going to be here, right here on this stage, and then I was the last one to know, And so as I was preparing for this word today, I thought about how prophets and prophetess usually give the last word of the year. Going on to the next year, they usually have a prophetic word, and just how blessed I am to be able to be here and to be able to speak to you guys. And so as I was praying and asking God what word did he have for Pilgrim Rest, God reminded me of my grandmother Yvonne. She lives in Chicago, and I'm going to give you a little bit of story about her that brings me to this point right here. In 2003, I was pregnant with Jaden. I was at the University of Georgia, and because I had him in October, I still had 2 more months of school. So I was able to ask my grandmother Yvonne, who lived in Chicago and I was in Georgia, to take care of Jaden so I could finish up my school, my finals and everything. And she said yes. She moved in with my parents in Chicago, and she took care of Jaden for me so I could finish school. So I went home for Christmas in 2003, and we all drove down to Monticello, Arkansas to visit Grandma and Granddaddy for the holidays. Well, Jaden wound up getting sick Christmas night, and he had to be airlifted from Drew Memorial to Little Rock, and he had to stay there for a while. And so I realized that I was going to need some help when I came back to school in January. And so I asked my grandmother Yvonne if she would come and stay with me for the next semester so I could finish school, because Jaden had health issues. And she said yes. And so she came down there with me, and everything went fine. And she went back home that summer, and we kind of just fell apart. We didn't really have a close relationship. And so we just fell back into our old roles after everything was fine. And so recently, she's sick. She's cancer, and she's dying. And I went to visit her in August with my son, and that was really the first time Jaden seen the grandmother that helped him in his crisis. A part of it, my grandmother here obviously, but a part that was able to help me in school, and a part that was able to help Jaden with his health issues. And now she's in her health issues. And so we went down there and visited, and then this Christmas, she started to delegate her personal things to my little sister. And so you have all these personal items that you hold so tight, so close to. She's giving them away this Christmas. So my youngest sister got a box full of all these pictures and photos and things, and we're all starting to get to the point where we're realizing that she's getting ready to go home. And so I realized that her act was an act of love. She decided to get down to the basics, the things that mattered. She realized that the object she's accumulated throughout her years, she can't take with her to the next life. So she decided the only thing that she was going to give this Christmas was love, and the only thing she was going to take with her is love. And just in the reality of that brought me back to the purpose of God's walk in us, our life, our purpose here on earth. We accumulate all these things, and we do all these things, and they look good, and they look nice on the wall, or we traveled here, we did that, but at the end of the day, when it's your time to go on to the next life, which is eternity, you can't take none of that with you. And you realize that I could buy you a gift for Christmas, or I could give you that love that's never going to expire. You don't have to worry about who's going to take that when you go on. And I realized how amazing that was for that reality to kick in for her, because not everybody has that opportunity to give that. Some people wake up in the morning and they're just not here. And the blessing of that is for her to be able to right all her wrongs and do all the things that she was supposed to do that didn't get to do. That God was giving her that last opportunity to give that one most important thing, which is love. Love thy neighbor as thyself. To love. And so that brought me to the scripture of 1 Corinthians 13, 1 to 13. And I'm going to read it. It's not the King James Version, but I like this version. It just flows a little bit better for me. And it says, if I speak in tongues of men or of angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all the mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have faith that can move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast, but I do not have love, I've gained nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoice with the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. Always hopes. Always preserves. Love never fails, but where there is prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I responded like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. But then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. And so as I was thinking about this, we're in the transition of one season, ending one season and going to the next. This is the end of the year. This is the last Sunday of 2018. And we are ending 2018 and we're going on to the next. And I just thought about how many things have I gotten off the path with. In Bible study, they were talking about the sheep and the goats. And I just thought, man, Daddy, this is a great setup for what you have, the word that God has for this church. And I just thought about it, that there are things that when we became a Christian that we knew we had to die off. We became new. Old ways, we dropped those off and we walked in our newness. And how many times in the beginning have when we were running a race, we was just ready, we weren't going to do this anymore, we weren't going to act that way, we are new in Christ. And as years gone on, we've slowly compromised ourselves and gone back to those old ways. And now when Jesus Christ comes and he separates the sheep and the goats, that we ain't all going to make it. We're not all going to make it. And why are we bringing into 2019 the stuff that we were supposed to get right in 2018? We still got, 2 days left. But if it's not by works and it's by grace, then we ain't got a lot to do. Because if it was by works and not by grace, we all wouldn't make it, including myself. Amen. And so the list that I have, God is saying, yes, I understand, but it's not by works, it's by grace, and you are never going to get those things done, but you can get them done today through the free gift of God, through his Son, Jesus Yeshua, and how we can ask for our book to be washed with the blood and it all be clean. And then no record of wrongdoings. Nothing that would disqualify us from God saying, no, you're not a sheep. You look like a sheep and you sound like a sheep. You are a goat.
All right.
And so, as I end this message, because I realized when I was doing this, I was like, Daddy, the message is kind of short and to the point. And then I found out I had a partner who was going to talk about joy. And my point is I'm talking about love, but you can't have joy if you don't first receive the free gift of grace, which gives you the love that allows you to walk in the joy. Right. And so as I'm closing and we're thinking about what we're going into 2018 with, be like my grandmother Yvonne and eliminate those things that have no value and walk into love. And treat thy neighbor as thyself. And even though you didn't do it on your ride up here, because the devil was tossing you to and fro, that you can, when the altar call comes, renew yourself for 2018, or just for today, because you may not make it to 2018, 19. You may not wake up tonight. You may not have it. We are not promised tomorrow. He made that very clear. I just think because I'm 36 years old that I'm going to make it tomorrow. But that was never anything that my daddy told me. He said, live today as though your last, for you may not have tomorrow. So my thing is, get your heart right. Because if daddy is looking at love, it comes from the heart. Because out of the heart, the mouth speaks. And the body acts. So ask for Ezekiel 36:26, which is a new heart. You replace your heart of stone with a heart of flesh. And let's all walk out here some sheep today, okay?
Amen.
Amen. All righty.